Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Honey Speaks. Thank you all for watching. Man, y'all, I'm crushed. I'm crushed. I don't even know any. I'm crushed. You know, America does not love us. America don't love us. America don't love us. Look at this boy. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. This 19-year-old young man was beat up. Well, not necessarily beat up, but he was accosted, right? And as parents, we teach our children not to be the aggressor, right? Teach your children, don't be the aggressor, but you got a right to defend yourself. You got a right to stand your ground, right? You know, but this is institutionalized racism at its finest. This is systemic racism. Like, this is crazy. 35 years? Had he killed an African American, I can guarantee you he wouldn't did no 35 years for it. 4-inch pocket knife, stabbed one time after you was accosted. And then they're talking about like uh, he didn't have to do it. He could have just left. Well, how can you leave when you being beat up? And then, right, he had a knife, right? And they had fists and he had a knife. Okay, he didn't have a gun. This was a young man defending himself. Now, we're not going to say, I'm not going to sit on here and pump fake to y'all like he was innocent, right? He killed somebody, he took a life. You know, the Metcalf family has lost their son. They will never see Austin again. Carmelo's family can see him, right? I get all that. I get all that. But what I'm not getting is the fact that the judge, the jury, they sentenced this young man to 35 years. This wasn't premeditated murder. No. This young man was in duress. He was afraid and he reacted. How many of us have reacted? You know, may not have killed nobody, but we reacted inappropriately. Come on, man. This is unbelievable. You know, on so many levels, right? And then, I've been on social media all day, and I was watching different stuff on YouTube and different things on Facebook, and all, just reading the comments and stuff. And man, this is a crazy world. You got black people on there. What y'all thought? We didn't think he was gonna get 35 years. I can assure you that. No, we didn't. You know. But was he tried fairly? No. He's supposed to have a jury of his peers. There was not one African American on the jury. And then they only had 3 in the jury pool. So where was the fairness? Where was the fairness? Ah, wait. See, now check this out, right? That's the Metcalf family along with the judge. Were they friends? What's going on here? You know, I pray that the defense starts on appeal immediately. I'm calling on the African American community. We got to quit just talking. Somebody got to step up. Somebody got to step up, and we got to follow suit. Like, when is this going to stop? When is enough enough? When is enough enough? Now, see, just last week, we had to deal with Mr. Chow. Now, I'm going to show you something. Right. Now, all of these gentlemen were charged with murder. Right. Only one got convicted. Mr. Chow followed Cyrus out the store, shot him in his back. Not guilty. Zimmerman, not guilty. The weak ass police officer, not guilty. But 19-year-old Karmelo is a murderer with 35-year sentence. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? And here's the thing. See, we elected these people. That judge was elected. The judge was elected. We elect these officials, and then some of us aren't even voting. And this is what happens when you don't step up and make your vote count. Okay. This is what happens. Right. And as a mother, I got 2 sons, and I took my sons out the city and I raised them in the suburbs too. And I pray and pray and pray that that we don't encounter anything crazy like this. Right. And this is why. This is why, you do everything to try to protect these kids. You move them out the hood. You move them to a neighborhood where, you may not see as much of you as you would some in the hood, in the urban area. And Jim Crow show up. At the end of the day, y'all, until we come together and really step our game up, this could happen. This could be your child. This could be my child. Like, quit looking at it like it's a them problem till the shit hits your doorstep. Because it can and it will. If nobody steps up and says anything, if we don't do anything about it, if we don't step up, if we stay complacent, which one of our kids next? Yours or mine? We got to step up, man. And step and in that stepping up, we got to sweep around our own front doors. So we got to stop feeding the killers. We got to stop rationalizing and justifying the most outrageous of nonsense. We got to knock it off. We got to knock it off straight up. This young man's life is forever changed, you guys. Forever. Forever? He's 19. His whole life gone for a bad decision that was provoked. It wasn't like he was unprovoked. It was provoked. Mr. Child wasn't provoked. That boy life wasn't worth a bottle of water. Cyrus, Cyrus, a bottle of water. You killed him at a bottle of water. George Zimmerman, you killed a boy over some Skittles and an Arizona tea. The police officer, you shot a kid. You see, all these other people used guns and they were found not guilty. The young black man used the knife and he finna do 35 years, man. And I'm gonna say this one more time. If we don't do nothing, one of our kids next, whether it's yours or mine, we got to step up. We got to step up.